Right, you're doing this, are you? Yeah.
No, what?
You
No, I
No?
didn't. I'm not ready. I thought you had an urban legend one.
Fine. Fine. You've completely thrown me now because I've... Right, okay, fine.
We're
Right.
doing a podcast.
Here we go. Yes, right. Hello and welcome all into the MO podcast. As always, you're here with me, Consummation,
And me, Atreya.
and today, because someone's not prepared, we are going to be talking about the second half of our urban legends. So, we got through 5 of them last time, so you've got a choice of 1 to 5.
3.
3. Oh, crap. 3. Now 3 is bit of self-promotion in here, but it's the Beast of Exmoor. So, I've already wrote about big cats in the wild. Check out Weird Compendium.
I thought this was where you were actually going to say, like, you wrote a book or something, like you were fucking suddenly David Attenborough or some shit like that. And I was like, why did I not know about this? You've written a book about cats in the wild?
Yeah, because I got... Don't even have... I don't even have time to edit, so how am I going to find time to write a book?
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah. Anyway, so, it could be turned into a book, a novelisation of short stories. Them words don't go together, but still.
Okay.
That's how good the book's going to be. So, there's a lot of reports in the all over England. I mean, when I was a young person, I heard all that there was wild beasts roaming and flying low. That's fucking... You just put me fly up. Sorry about that. That was weird.
For me?
Yeah. Apologies. So, there are many reasons as to why this could be a thing, that there are wild beasts, wild cats roaming out there. One of the major things is in the 60s and 70s, a lot of, I'm not going to say hippies, but a lot of Carnaby Street people had big cats. Because why not? There was no laws prohibiting it, unfortunately.
I would have one tomorrow.
Yeah, but it is still a wild animal.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, if you follow I Am Puma on Instagram, that's a full, actual puma who just lives like a house cat, and he's so adorable. It's a bit of promo for you, Messi.
Yeah, tell me that when it's biting your face off.
No, he doesn't, though. He just gives cuddles and kisses and...
Well, that woman thought that chimpanzee was nice until it ripped her neighbour's face off, didn't she?
It didn't like her neighbour. Some people have just got one of those faces that you just want to rip off. Some of us are able to control that and others aren't.
That is actually very true. But we're not victim blaming, obviously. But
You hated her face?
Yeah, I know that feeling. But mentioning no names. So
I'm gonna end you. Dickhead.
Yes, I don't deny that. So, in 1976, the Dangerous Animals Act was passed, and it required people to own a license and have decent facilities that before you could buy one of these. And the thing is, although this was made a law, it didn't actually stipulate that if you previously owned one of these animals, you couldn't actually go into the country and just like throw it out your window as you're driving through and dumping them out on the moors. And apparently this has happened because there's been a lot of sightings about the beast. One of the most famous ones is the Beast of Exmoor. There's also like the Beast of Bodmin.
Dartmoor, I've heard of Dartmoor. I haven't heard of Exmoor.
Dartmoor as well, and there have been apparently some sightings in the High Peak as well. But the most famous one is the Beast of Exmoor. Now, in 1983, after a South Molton farmer claimed he had lost over 100 sheep in the space of 3 months, the Royal Marines actually got involved with this. And the Royal Marines, who are the elite fighting unit, and
There's 100 sheep. It's 100 sheep, dude.
yeah,
They probably thought it was aliens.
Yeah, for some reason they decided to get involved. Now, they deployed snipers in and around the Exmoor moors. Some of them did claim to see the beast, but this was through night vision goggles, and because they were snipers, the bullets that they had, because they could pass through the beast if they shot them and cause injury to human life, no one ever fired a shot. Now, if you're on the moors and the Marines are using night vision goggles, I mean, it's got to be night time. You've got to be up to no good if you're up there. So maybe you deserve to be shot. Just saying.
Why did they bring sniper rifles then if they weren't prepared to fire them? Why did they not just bring a telescope?
See, this is the weird thing about it. I don't understand why they didn't like bring a big net and tranquilizer guns, but I think it was more a show of the people were getting a bit. Well, this farmer was proper pissed off, and
yeah, sheep are expensive.
Yeah, they just made a show of going out there and did nothing. But
easy assignment for them, I suppose.
Yeah, it was just like war games for them, weren't it? We'll go and have a look. And
yeah.
I mean, one commanding officer was quoted as saying that their quarry behaved with high, almost human intelligence and always moved with the surrounding cover amongst hedges and woods. Now,
sounds a little bit like a human, that.
Yeah. And if he's saying that, he's seen it, so why didn't he like get a net or something and and then go, yeah, it was there, but we just couldn't be arsed with it, really.
Or, yeah, we found the bloke who's stealing your sheep.
That's it.
And spreading a rumour that it was a big cat.
If there's no remains, it's just all gone. As he's counting his money from the thing at the farmer's market, like that. Oh, yeah. You know, yeah,
he started the rumour.
Mutton's good value this time of year.
Yeah.
So, as well, one of the reasons why this could be true is because in 1895 there were over 200 exotic animal shops in London alone, never mind the surrounding areas, and Harrods actually had an exotic pet shop.
Bet they were really expensive. Like, exotic pets are expensive anyway, but fuck me, in Harrods.
Yeah, they sold elephants and lions.
Where did they put them?
Don't know. Don't know.
I've been in Harrods. You could maybe have one elephant max.
That's it.
And that would take away the entire sports department.
They may have a lot out the back.
True, yeah.
Someone comes in and went, oh, have you got an elephant? I'll just check out the back for you, mate. Okay, now, yeah, we've got a few.
Top shelf. I'm
not going in there because it's just a mess. Like the cleaner, it's his day off, so I'm definitely not going to go in there. So, in 1981, under Thatcher government, it was actually made illegal to stop dumping your illicit animals out in the countryside. And although 1981, it is quite a long time ago. In the last sighting, although there was an actual video just put up, the last known sighting was the 5th of January, 2022, so this year. Now, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt because it was in the Daily Mail, but apparently this is what was seen. Now,
It just looks like an ordinary cat. There's no reference for how big it is.
exactly. I mean, even with a tree in the background, it's perspective, isn't it, on that one? Now, the guy that took the picture was a gentleman called Sam Aston, who's a professional dog walker. So I think you can tell he's a millennial from that. Not having a dig. Not having a dig. But
I'm a millennial. I am.
okay. Okay.
I am.
Okay. You claim
It's 1985. It is. Google it. Because I was wounded. I was devastated.
Okay. What's wrong? So he's a professional dog walker, so you kind of think he knows what a dog looks like, but he's also a wildlife photographer, and he took that photo, and
He's a wildlife photographer. He took that photo. It's shit.
yeah. So I mean,
What kind of camera was he using?
fucking Nokia 3510.
Certainly looks that way.
Yeah, I mean it kind of looks like something, but you've got to get perspective on it and have something to.
Well, yeah. Did you read it a few years ago about those people that said that they'd seen a big cat and it was like just sitting there in this field and they were proper losing their shit thinking that there was like there's this tiger loose, and they rang the police, and when the police got there, no, it was just somebody's ginger cat that was just a little bit chubbier than usual. It was pretty much still an average sized cat. It was just a bit of a chonker. No perspective. Like their first thought was, "Oh my god, there's a tiger in the fucking field," rather than, "Oh look, that's a big fat cat."
Yeah, and I mean this comes down to like the general public, isn't it? I mean you can't really trust them doing anything. I mean you can't trust a lot of people doing anything, but one of the reasons why there may be big cats out there on the moors is that Exmoor Zoo actually do say that if there is a beast out there, it would be a melantic leopard, which is basically a puma, which is Black Panther, basically.
Why are they missing one?
Well,
If there is,
I mean, yeah.
it's definitely this, and it answers to Ralph.
Yeah. He likes belly rubs, apparently. But as well, the Black Panther suffers from... It has a short lifespan, and it does suffer from dwarfism, so it wouldn't actually be a leopard kind of size. It'd be a little bit smaller. And because they're actually hybrids as well, the Black Panthers are actually hybrids, they're sterile, so they won't be having any other babies.
They won't be having babies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even if in 1981 they were let go, then even if they were up on the moors rutting away, there wouldn't be any kind of offspring.
And if when you say short lifespan, like
shorter than a leopard. So I've not put it down, but I assume a leopard to live for what, 25, 30 years. So I'd say shorter than that. So 1981.
So it would be dead by now.
Yeah, it's 40 years ago. So there shouldn't actually be... If these were all released in 1981, let's say before this law came in, then yeah. But you never know. You do never know, and there's always...
What about the ones that escape from circuses and that? You always hear about them ones, don't you? Well, I mean, you don't always hear about those ones, but I mean, in like the past, they've like, you know...
Yeah, but again, now circuses can't have wild animals.
No, not now. Not now they can't, but they could in the past, couldn't they?
Yeah, so again, but I think we're going back, what, 10, 15 years as well, so...
I know, but just because somebody says that it's a black panther doesn't mean it's a black panther. We haven't caught it. It could be a tiger or a lion.
Could be. Just
At night time, everything looks darker at night. It's a kind of side effect of
covered
lack
in
of
mud.
daylight.
Just covered in mud, innit? That's
Well,
right,
I mean,
covered in mud.
it could be. It's a terrible, terrible picture.
It is.
That could be a gerbil for all we know.
Yeah. I mean, there is a video in the Discord in Weird Videos of one of... I don't think it's that one. I think it's a more recent sighting. I think that was in February, that sighting. But again, it's perspective. And he's about 4 miles away from it, and it's just terrible. But yeah, so wild animals could be out on the moors. I mean, obviously, this is just like England, Britain. So if you're in, let's say, Norway, for example, you're obviously going to see mooses and shit. So don't panic. They're supposed to be there, maybe. I don't know. Don't know the indigenous creatures. But yeah, so that's right. 1 to 5 without 3, then.
4.
4.
4.
4. Right. So even though I've renamed it as 4, this was up there in the research drunkenness. So this is actually number 8 in the actual list. So if you remember, I started off 1 quite sober, and then by the 10 we got to Hippo Eats Dwarf. So
Yes.
that's kind of the way it went. So this is the Boo Hags.
The Boo Hags?
Yeah, the Boo Hags. Now
Sounds like an indie band.
Yeah, actually. Not a good one. So this comes out of the Gulala. I butchered that, and I do apologise. Folklore.
The Gala?
No, the Gullah.
Oh, right, okay. I'll take your word for it. I heard Gala and thought the bingo.
I thought Freed from Desire. My lover's got no money. He's got his strong beliefs. Anyway. So,
he wouldn't get past the front fucking door in my house with my mum. He's got no job, he's got no car, no prospect, but he's got his strong beliefs.
Yeah, they don't pay bills.
Thank God for that.
Jog on. So this is African American culture that lives in the coastal regions of Georgia, Florida, and the Carolinas. So I almost said South America, but southern United States on the actual coast. Now, apparently, the Boo Hags, there's a phrase around these areas, and it is, don't let the hag ride you. So...
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah. Never take any notice of it. So these are like vampires, but rather than blood...
Oh God, don't.
Right, I'm glad
Really?
you finished that. So they suck your air out and use it as sustenance.
I thought that was taking a very, very dark turn.
Look, this is what...
Thought we were going blue. He's gone blue.
No. So, basically, they gain access to the victim via a small crack or hole in the house, straddle the victim, and then suck in your breath while you're sleeping at night.
Is that an issue, really, though? Because the air you're breathing out you don't need anyway, so take all you want. Fill your boots.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really think they do anything untoward, like they're not witches or anything. But if the victim fights back, then the Boo Hag will kill them.
Oh.
And then wear their skin to blend into society. So
No, that didn't work for Ed Gein, and it didn't work for Leatherface either. People
Yeah.
just run away. You don't really blend in.
No. So apparently the Boo Hags have no skin themselves, and
Ugh.
they're red because obviously,
They've got no skin.
yeah. So, they've
How would
had-
you not fight back then if you woke up and that was like on you? Like, I don't mind if somebody wants to take my stale, nasty, wine-infused, bad breath air, be my guest. But,
Yeah.
like, you've got no skin and you're sitting on me, you just wake up and go, ugh!
Yeah. So that could be the reason why people fight back, because they wake up
Yeah.
and they see this, and then they end up
With no skin.
being skinless, yeah, kind of thing. Now, there is a story that if you find their skin, because obviously they only go out at night to suck in sustenance out of people, because you've got to be asleep, and during the day they just wear their victim's skin and walk around like they're functioning members of society. Now, there is a story, if you find their skin, then you can put salt and pepper in the costume, the skin costume, and then the Boo Hag can't get in because the salt's itchy and the pepper is for seasoning, I assume. I just don't know why.
But then couldn't they just hide away for the next day and then, like, suck the life out of somebody else and kill them when they fight back?
See,
They would never be without an outfit for very long.
yeah, it would make more sense as well, to be quite honest with you, because obviously when do they sleep? If they're out all night sucking off air, yeah. If they're out all night, I didn't, yeah. If they're out all night
Yeah.
sucking in air, and then surely they have to sleep at some point.
But how can they sleep if they're out blending in?
Maybe they just like pretend they work nights and they're on the dole. You know?
That could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could work.
Way to blend in.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is kind of, it's one of them stories, like, just don't let the hag ride you, I suppose. It's one of them stories of...
Yeah, but how would you not? How would you stop that from happening, apart from, like, not sleeping?
just, like, I don't know, have loads
Because
of
if you push them
self-confidence.
off, then that kind of... that constitutes as fighting back, and then you would be dead.
Yeah. I don't know. This was, like I say, this is number 8. So, yeah. So, it's... Yeah.
I'm not on board with that one.
No, I'm sure a lot of other people have covered it a lot better, and it is folklore, obviously, of its tradition and that, but...
But it doesn't even make any sense.
Well...
You could literally be Stephen King telling me about this, and I would still go, I'm not on board with this one. There's too many holes in it.
I mean, I don't think folklore and urban legends are just scary stories. It's not like a university dissertation. It's just
Relevant.
they're-
Too many holes.
They're social, like, be careful of the...
Yeah, but you've got to have some kind of like if somebody said to me like, "Don't let the hag ride you," and then told me, and I'd be like, "Ooh, that sounds scary," and then they told me this, and then I would straight away, even if I was like 8 years old, I would be like, "But
Hang on a minute.
how?"
Something's not adding up here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't do much about it if I'm asleep, and then if they're not, like, if they just, like you say, if they just want my fucking gorilla breath, then they can have it.
Bottle it up.
Yeah.
Get yourself an Etsy store started.
Or maybe that's why your breath smells like that in the morning.
Because they've been sucking it all night.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Right. 1, 2,
1.
5. Right, 1. Right, this should be a good one. Yeah. So, this is the Green Man. So there's a legend of a man with green skin and no face who wanders the lonely roads of Pennsylvania. That's the story of it.
Do you have any more details?
So, dependent on the story, the Green Man, as a child, climbed an electrical pole to steal some bird eggs because he was hungry, and He got electrocuted, fell from the pole. His eyes and nose, one ear, melted. He lost an arm and his skin turned green. Or the second story is that he kind of got all jokeified and fell in a vat of acid.
How did his skin turn green?
Because of the electrical current.
I don't.
No, Doctor. Think we proved this on the last episode. Which
I don't know anybody who's ever been electrocuted who's turned green.
I mean,
and or fallen in a vat of acid and turned green.
Well, do you know anyone who's climbed a telegraph pole and had his face melted?
Well, no, but there was that guy that was fixing the power line, and he got zapped and turned into a human fireball and shot across the sky and landed on the ground and actually still survived.
That's not funny at all.
He was burned quite badly, but I'm fairly sure he wasn't green.
Fairly sure.
I'm like 67% sure he wasn't green.
Okay. Well, apparently this gentleman was. I mean, and then after this incident, whichever one, he lived in an abandoned house to hide away from society. But at night, he would come out and take long walks around the area. And apparently he would frequent a local bridge. Don't know if he hid under it like a troll, but the rumour is if he laid eyes on you, I mean he's got no eyes, but if he laid his eye holes on you, then he would eat your soul. That's not true.
Because that's what happens when you get electrocuted. You get imbued with the power of soul eating.
Yeah. I mean, I may have made that a little bit up, but in fairness, he was a real man.
Yeah, that's...
So this is Raymond Theodore Robinson.
Yes.
And he was called Charlie No Face way
Yes.
before the Mighty Boosh existed. And when he was 8 years old, he did actually climb an electrical pole, and it was kind of like a trolley for a tram. So it had a lot of current going through it, and 22,000 volts passed through his body. He was disfigured. He lost his eyes, nose, and his right arm, and the doctors pretty much just went, oof.
Not a lot we can do there.
Yeah, get some coleslaw on this one. That was really bad, and I'm sorry that just came into my mind. That's getting edited.
No, it isn't. No, I remember reading about this guy because I felt quite sorry for him, because I think people kind of thought he was some like ghoul or something, some kind of weird cryptid, and just ran in terror screaming from him. And yeah, I found out he was just this poor guy who had a bit of an accident.
Yeah.
I say a bit of an accident, it's a bit of an understatement, but yeah, he had an accident, and then everybody thought he was, something out of Fallout, and they ran away from him screaming in terror.
Yeah, it is like it's kind of a horrible story about the way he was treated, but he did live to the age of 74. So from 8, he had 60 plus years with this figment that he had. But
Can't have been a very happy life.
no, but the thing is, he learned how to read Braille. He made belts and wallets, not out of human flesh that we talked about last time, but it was out of used tyres, and he'd listen.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say I used tampons. Sorry, I heard the T and my brain went straight to tampons, and I was thinking I would not want a belt made out of used tampons. That is the last thing that I'd want.
Yeah.
Holding my jeans up.
Yeah, so we won't record in 28 days, then, is that what you're saying? Don't even know if that's a thing. And he used to listen to the commentary of his favourite sports team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now,
They're my favourite too!
of course.
They are.
Of course. What sport is it?
Baseball.
I don't actually know, so...
It is baseball!
I thought it was ice hockey, to be quite honest with you. I don't know baseball. But yeah, okay.
Clearly.
Fair enough, yeah. So you got something in common there. And because of the way he looked, he was maybe self-conscious, but it probably was from bullying. He did actually stay inside during the daytime, but at night he would go for long walks along the side of Route 351, which is a road, like a highway. I don't think it's a motorway, but it's like an A road, I would assume. And he did this for 50 years. He loved walking, and he'd just go out in the evening just to be alone with himself, his thoughts, and people would always try and get a look at him. And most of the time he kind of hid from people because he didn't want, if he heard a car coming, he'd probably dive into the bushes and whatnot, because it wasn't something, maybe self-consciously again, but maybe because he had issues where people would pick him up and then drop him off miles away from where he was going to be. But he would talk to people, and he was always lured in with a few beers and a few cigarettes. If you had beers and cigarettes, then he'd go over and kind of speak to you. I mean, I'd love to say a lot of people were kind of cool with him, but there was a lot of incidents where, because he was blind, people would piss in beer bottles and try and give it to him. And he learned the lesson. And then I think after the first incident, he never drank an unopened beer bottle after that.
I mean, firstly, okay, that is a horrible thing to do to a person, but also secondly, I guess a very easy thing to do to a drunk person. They don't have to be necessarily blind, just a drunk person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just some people are horrible. And especially when they've seen something different and they just want to go, we're better.
What a bunch of assholes.
Exactly. And Americans as well. But
yeah, because that would never have happened over here, Anne.
No, God, no. Yeah. Yeah.
They'd have fucking held him down, pinched his nose shut, and opened his mouth.
Yeah, and then got a Boo Hag to suck his breath out. That's what we call it round here, anyway. Crack whore and anyway. But yeah, like I say, I mean, Raymond died in the Beavertown Geriatric Centre at the age of 74, and it was 66 years he lived with this disfigurement, this disability, and do you know what? He just got on with it. He just went. He overcame the stuff. He taught himself Braille. He made belts. He just lived his life, and I think it's a nice sentiment that even after all that, he was still willing to go. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna deal with the hand that I've been given, and and bless him for
kudos to him
for that. Yeah. So what have we got left now? I think 2 or 5.
5.
Oh fucking hell! I knew it'd be that one.
Like 2 then.
No, 5. So 5 is really 9 on the scale, and it's called the Baby Train.
The baby train or baby trade?
Baby Train.
Oh right, okay.
So see, we're blurring the lines between urban legend and just completely made up. But this was a thing that in a town, I think it was in Australia. I've got no getting research up here. Here we go. Where is it? Baby Train. There you go. Can I put it there? Yes, I'll put it there. Right. So, in a town, or as the myth goes, it was written down by the Australian author and folklorist Bill Scott. And in a town not too far away from Sydney, they seem to have a population spike where the birth rate was 3 times the average for the rest of the whole of Australia. And because this was so unusual, the government sent someone out to have a look. And when the official... No, to see what was going on, because it was like, wow.
Just door knocking, like, why are you having so much sex?
Yeah, exactly.
Answer this survey.
It's really wrong. You're not allowed to. Uh, so basically, he went, knocked on the doors, asked a few questions, and he didn't get any particular answers until he kind of stayed overnight. And every day, a train would come through at 3 o'clock in the morning and blow its whistle. Therefore, it would wake up all the townsfolk. Now, 3 o'clock, because this is like a mining town or whatever, 3 o'clock in the morning, they're going to get up at 5 and go to their job, so they can't really go back to sleep. So, just need to pass the time for a bit, don't they?
I mean, there's other things to do.
Apparently.
Have a bath,
Yeah.
crosswords. So literally they knocked on doors and they were like, why are you having so much sex? And they were like, well, now what else to do before work starts?
Exactly. That train wakes us up, and then what am I going to do? Exhausted everything. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know why. If I
what about birth control?
Well, if I was woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and had sex, I'd be asleep by 2 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning. So I don't understand what's happening here.
There's some high stamina blokes.
Exactly. It must be something in the water, not just the actual train that's going through. So this legend, this myth, is also, it changes around the world. I mean, there's a small town in America or England where there's foghorns that are going off, or there's something that wakes these people up at a particular time in the morning, and they can't go
Maybe
back
it's
to
a
sleep.
conspiracy.
Maybe.
Because they're all about the whole, the birth rates are dropping around the world and stuff. Maybe the governments got together and they were like, what if though? What?
I'm having a drink. Fuck it off.
But they might be like, what if we wake them up just before work, but give them just long enough to think, how else can I pass the time? Let's have it before GMTV.
Yeah, because that yeah.
Lots of people watch GMTV, aren't?
Yeah, but seeing Piers Morgan wouldn't keep you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before Piers Morgan, before GMTV, like before any kind of like morning TV show, let's change all of the radio stations so they're all playing something shit, or just advert after advert after advert. So eventually they just go, let's not even listen to the radio anymore. It's bullshit. This. Funny around with all the TV stations so that it's just white snow, like it's just white noise on all the TV channels.
Or porn.
Yeah, but then they might sit and watch the telly instead of doing something about it.
That's why them adverts are on at that time in the morning.
What adverts?
Apparently, there's adverts on that are rude at that time in the morning.
Is there?
Local grannies in your area, local girls in your area.
And I feel like ads are personalised to you.
Just the
Local grannies in your area.
Just the channels I'm watching.
Lock your nans up, everybody. Just lock your nans up. They're not safe.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, this is a big Amtrak that have started this, and British Rail.
It's a good idea.
Well, northwest, southwestern. I don't know. Eddie.
Let's face it. We only exist to improve the economy.
Indeed, and as we have previously discussed on one of the conspiracy theories, people are just churning out Bezos's drones now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
See?
So it could actually be true. That one. That could actually be true. Or if it's not, we're going to start it as a conspiracy theory.
I mean, I think we should start it as a business because. I mean, I just think it's a good idea.
Yeah. That could be.
Fuck off, Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
yeah.
off.
And anyone else, we'll trademark that by the time this comes out.
There'll be a documentary on next month, the baby train stories. I'm suing.
I mean, yeah. I think I've seen that video on a different website anyway. Uh,
The grannies in your area one? I don't even want to know what your search history involves to have that come up as a personalised ad.
yeah. Just ask me MI5 guy outside. Oh god.
MI5, FBI, and KGB outside your house.
Tell you, Jesus.
Just be on the safe side.
Yeah. So this brings us to our last one, and to be fair, I'm glad we've got down to this last one because this is actually a classic. So this is The Killer in the Backseat.
Oh, I like this one.
Now, yeah, we've all heard this, and again, it's more of a campfire story rather than an urban legend because you all kind of but it's told differently in the area that you're in, but I reckon everybody knows this story. And if you kind of haven't heard the story, like a woman is driving late through the night, dark and secluded area, when a car starts to aggressively follow her behind, and he starts flashing his lights, beeping his horn, and the driver of the car that's behind her, or the truck, or whatever, he's always male. It's usually a truck because it's a big trucker, and that kind of gives off a little bit of a scary vibe as well. Why is a trucker killing me? Ooh, following me, he's going to kill me, da da da. And after a few miles, the woman's scared. She doesn't know what to do. All of a sudden, petrol station appears or whatever. She pulls over to the side of the road into the petrol station or whatever. She kind of flees the car and she runs into the safety of the petrol station, and the guy, always guy, behind she runs to him for help kind of thing. He says, oh, this guy's following me, oh, I'm so scared, help me kind of thing. And then the trucker pulls over and he bursts through the door and they're like, oh my god, call the cops. And she's confused, the woman's confused and she's screaming, and the guy's like, the truck driver is like, no, I'm trying to save you. He's trying to explain himself, but she's like, no, I don't want to hear it and whatever. But all along, basically the trucker had seen the silhouette of a guy in her backseat. It's either with an axe or with a hook or with a knife or something, and he was, every time it was dark, he was leading up to try and get her, and by him flashing his lights and beeping his horn, he ducked down because the woman had to look in the rearview mirror, obviously. And the police arrive, the madman in the back of the car is arrested, and it's a happy story all round. Now,
but don't trust all people that try and flash you and flag you down on the motorway, because some of them actually might be serial killers.
Yeah. And
stop at the petrol station anyway.
Yeah, and get Greg's, innit?
Yep.
Services. So, I mean, that story is obviously never happened. It's like clearly bullshit. But
is it though?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Quite frankly, but the storytelling of it is just so 1950s, because the woman is running from a man, and the big trucker who's trying to save her he's a big guy, and she runs into the petrol station and it's a guy behind the petrol station counter, so she's always running to safety. And it's like, it's just so fucking 50s in the telling of it, because it's like, women, you need a man, you don't need to be out after dark driving your cars, or else this can happen. And usually 9 times out of 10, the guy in the back, the madman, is either a mental patient, or he's a black man, or he's some kind of minority, and it's like,
Escape from a mental asylum's the one I heard.
Yeah, it's just so fucking bullshit. Now, there is an updated version of this story, and it's been out on the internet. It's actually been on Instagram. I'd say it's been on Twitter, but I don't think there's enough characters on Twitter to be able to type this fucking thing out. But I have actually seen it on Instagram. Now, the updated version is the woman goes to the petrol station, fills up a tank, and goes to pay. Now, the male cashier explains that a card's been declined, and she goes, no, it says approved there. And he goes, oh, well, just wait here for a few minutes. And she's like, no, I don't want to, I need to go. And he goes, I've just seen someone like crawl into your car. While as you were walking into the thing, I seen him sneak across the forecourt and get into the back of your car. Now, call the police and the youth is arrested. Now, once the youth's arrested, it's a young person, and he goes, oh, well, it's a gang initiation, right? I've got to get a young woman, kidnap her, and take her back to gang headquarters where we all have a go. And if she's still alive in the morning, we'll let her go, kind of thing. So this was actually has been on the internet as like Instagram and shit like this as like warning update. This has happened in this area, but it's just a kind of roll on to this kind of thing. I mean,
but it is plausible that while you were like, this is from just because of this story is actually the reason why every time I go to the petrol station and fill my car up, I lock it to before I like go into the petrol station, because even if nobody's gonna like murder me or take me away and, you know, gang rape me or whatever, at the very least they could, you know, hold a knife to my throat and take my money or something as I come out of the petrol station and get in the car.
Exactly. No, it is good drills. It is absolutely good drills to do it. And I'm not going to say especially if you're a woman, but if you're a man as well. But don't leave your car unlocked. But this hasn't actually ever happened, or it's not ever been reported. There was one story. Now, this story started first appearing around about 1967-ish. And this was because of a guy who had actually broke into a car, and he was in the back seat, and this happened in 1964, and he was laid down in the back seat, and there was a guy in the front who was driving. He got home, he turned around, and he saw this guy in the back of his car, and he was actually a detective in the police force, and shot and killed him. So that is the only actual reported incident of someone being in the back of the car. Now, obviously, if you're in the sticks, and obviously if you're not alive to report it, this may have actually happened. But it kind of got a lot of credence after this, that this guy was found in the back, and it was kind of a warning story.
Unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. Of all the fucking cars to get in the back of, like, didn't even need his badge. You just go, I've got a gun, dick. I don't really care.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. Moral of the story: don't attempt to get into somebody's car.
Exactly, and that's the thing as well. You don't know who's going to be in the front of the fucking car.
I mean, like, Jason Voorhees doesn't walk everywhere.
That's the thing. Central locking nowadays. Child locks. Fucking hell. Just imagine. It's like, yeah. What's that fucking? Is it Batman? Quote. Oh, you've never seen a film in your life, have you? Like, you're locked in here with me, whatever it is.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was again another warning story about women shouldn't be out and they should be maybe not taking more care of themselves. But like you say, it is kind of good because it is good drills to lock your car, because like there's nutters out there, you never ever know what is gonna happen, and
yeah,
it's a crazy world out there. But that is kind of made up to an extent. But
but that's do you feel like maybe those kind of stories where, like, I think I've said this like in the past, you know, where when we used to watch Power Rangers as kids, in every single episode there was a moral to the story, the same as Captain Planet, you know, it was like, don't bully other people, or don't drop your litter, or a big pig litter eating monster or come and try and take over your town and kill everybody. They don't have why do they not have stories like that anymore?
I don't know.
Like the lock your car because somebody will creep in at a petrol station and murder you. Or don't go out at night by yourself if you're a girl because, unless there's a big burly man that happens to be on the same road as you, you're probably going to be knifed and killed by a guy hiding in the back of your car. But why is there no more stories like that now?
I mean, well, I don't know. I think there are. I mean, like, doesn't Black Mirror and Stranger Things have morals to them?
Stranger Things?
I don't know. What's it called? That Netflix thing. Stranger Times?
No. Stranger Things is a Netflix show, but I'm trying to find out what the moral of their story is. Like,
I don't know. I've never seen it, so I'm just.
Then no.
Yeah,
I don't think there's not a moral to Stranger Things.
Black Mirror has morals, surely. Or is it not like this is what could happen?
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't like Black Mirror. I didn't like I felt sorry for that pig.
Again, never seen it, but
it's not nice.
Yeah, I don't watch things with morals or without morals. I don't really watch things. I just watch.
It's not nice.
TV at 3 o'clock in the morning with grannies.
Eurotrash.
Oh, now that was quality.
No, it wasn't. It was trash. The clues in the title.
Oh, it was good. Anyway, Anton Biglund and Jean-Paul Gaultier. Yeah, anyway, show me age there.
Yes.
But yeah, so there's like urban legends, myths, folklore, moral stories. I don't know what you want to take from that, but just lock your doors at night. I mean, you should be doing that anyway. We shouldn't have to, but that is how life is nowadays. And
yeah. Lock your doors, lock your cars. Don't leave the car windows down. Ever.
And don't go onto the moors with some catnip, or else.
Yeah.
The cats will get you. And certainly, if you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning, watch TV. But I'd say
there's nothing on.
Yeah. I mean, with catch-up TV now, that's never going to happen, is it? Really? I mean,
yeah,
like,
we'll have to figure out a way around that.
Yeah, indeed.
Some kind of TV jammer that stops the catch-up TV working.
Yeah, coming soon. There'll be a population spike somewhere. You know who did it?
Northern England population spike.
Be like some fucking KGB stuff.
Me and Ant are like top consultants for all these companies, just raking it in. Like, have you got any more ideas? What other ideas have you got apart from jamming the TV signals?
I tell you what we do before we do it. We tell like Mothercare and Boots to move in to the town before we start doing it. It's the long game. It's a long game. Don't worry about it.
And then we buy shares, lots of shares in Mothercare and Boots.
Yeah, you'll turn a profit. Don't worry about it. You only need to be there for 5 years max. I tell you what, because then after that they'll all be at JD. We'll ruin this town.
I'm not going into work tomorrow. We've got this figured.
Yeah, exactly. Shit, we've said too much. Fuck off Netflix. But yeah, so on that bombshell, this, as always, has been the MO podcast with me, Conservation Sam.
And me, Atreya.
Thank you all so much for joining us, and we shall see you next time. Bye.
The
Bye.
MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast. The MO podcast.